Mirko Cellina perseveres with the forward line of David Zdrilic and Lamond at the expense of Jimmy Patikas, who succumbed to a knee injury and is not even able to take his place on the bench. Concern over a shoulder problem to goalkeeper John Perosh has cleared, while overlapping fullback Robert Trajkovski continues to add an extra dimension since returning from injury. Well, the Brisbane Strikers are forced to make one change to the team, which was beaten by Sydney Olympic in the final home and away round last week. Kiwi international Chris Zdrilic has succumbed to a broken foot and will not play again this season. Experienced utility Steve Jackson takes his place as a defensive midfielder. Troy Cranney trying to find his brother Sean on the far side, watched by Moric. Has support from Polak. Square is Jackson. Looking for Brown, the chest down by Brown, it's a good one. The ball over the top by Jackson. The flag stays down. Sean Cranney, slowly but surely getting back to match fitness after a long spell on the sidelines. And the clearance by Hunter now falls into the edge of the box. John Perosh out quickly. Big Alan Hunter, what a season he has had. Enes over the halfway line. The good ball there for Lamond, who's got the pace to get there. Crossing cover comes Hunter. Lamond back onto his favourite left foot, chipping it towards the back post. And it's an own goal, isn't it? From Gwynne. David Zdrilic claiming it, turning to take the acclaim of the crowd. But I have a suspicion it may have been an own goal. We'll have to look at the replay. Whatever the case, Sydney United take the lead 14 minutes into the match. And the crowd up off their seats. It all came about because of a cross from this man, Lamond. A well-flighted ball towards the back post. And in fact, it was Zdrilic who got the head in there in front of Gwynne, so a good goal there by Sydney United. And an expert finish by David Zdrilic, his 10th of the season. And again, showing his qualities, Johnny Warren.
Yeah, beautiful ball from Enes to open it up. Well opened too by Lamond. Great cross and superb header. Beautiful ball from Lamond.
Well, David Zdrilic, again, the money man for Sydney United. Very significant breakthrough. Brisbane now forced to push forward in numbers. And here's Alan Hunter, in fact, pushing forward straight away. A shot there off the upright by Alan Hunter. What a reply that was. Oh, so close to the equaliser. The defender moving forward for the first time, beating Popovic, lining up the shot. It beat John Perosh with the swerve, and very unlucky there for Alan Hunter.
Great stuff from Big Al. Brisbane are going to need a lot more of that. They've really got the job in front of them now, but with the away goals counting double in the event of a draw over the two legs, of course, it is important that Brisbane do score.
Well, Sydney United take the lead after this goal from David Zdrilic. We'll take a look at it from a different angle. From behind the goals, the ball floated towards the back post, and Zdrilic just getting in front of Gwynne. 30 minutes gone. It's still Sydney United in front. The goal scorer, David Zdrilic, after 14 minutes. But Brisbane very much in this match. Here comes Babic. Through the middle of Zdrilic, goes back instead to Enes. Good strong play there by Robbie Enes. And chipped over the top looking for Zdrilic. Out comes Clint Bolton. Still with Zdrilic. And the shot unable to be turned back across the face of goal. So every time he pushes forward, David Zdrilic causes problems in this Brisbane defence. A lovely ball floated through by Enes. And Zdrilic gets around the goalkeeper, but a very difficult angle to work with. Lovely skills here by Lamond. And the shot on his weaker right foot, really no concern in the end, but don't the crowd love that? The ball on a string, Menace magic. It never ceases to bring the Edensor Park faithful to life. A run like this, beats one, shapes for the shot, and perhaps really a snapshot of Menace's career. A good run, but in the end the finish. Farina prepared to go forward. He tries the shot. Frank Farina, not a bad effort from the veteran striker Frank Farina for the first time in the match, getting a good look at the goal away from Kupresak, and the shot causing concern there for Perosh over the crossbar in the end. Hunter waits for support from Troy Cranney, threads it down the line. Cranney's low cross away by Popovic, only though as far as Hunter. In there was Farina, a knockdown for Rod Brown. Pressure here from Brisbane. And the block tackle eventually from Babic, still with Hunter though, who stayed forward. Troy Cranney now with a shot. He scoops his shot, and John Perosh down to his right makes the save. Well, I think Troy Cranney just kicked the ground there before he made contact with the ball, took the sting out of the shot. Hunter staying forward, getting involved in a lot of the good passages of play for Brisbane Strikers.
Well, two things come out of that move, Mike. One is that the supportive defending players have to become more involved in attack for Brisbane, and that the two Crannies have to become more and more involved in the game. When that happens, of course, Brisbane looks such a different proposition.
Here's Enes. Milicic now. Onside still as Lamond still going through the middle, though is Milicic. He wants the angle right. He gets it from Lamond, who stayed onside, back onto his left foot, chipping the ball up in the direction of David Zdrilic. This time Bolton makes the save. He's hurt his own player in the process. Sydney United continue to push forward. And there's a flag for offside as Craig Williams stays down. He's flattened by his own goalkeeper there. Clint Bolton, he's in some pain, Craig Williams. And once again, it was the cross by Lamond which caused all the problems. Chipping it up towards Zdrilic. And that would have hurt. Two knees fair and square in the back there. So the second half gets underway here. Sydney United in possession. An early touch for Robbie Enes. And no change made to either side during the half-time break. Here comes Milicic. Feeding Moric down the left. A good cross towards the back post. And Bolton, unconvincing, just flaps at the cross. The shot comes in there from Trajkovski, still in there. Again, it's Sydney United pushing forward, and finally Clint Bolton gets his hand on the ball. Well, a flurry of activity there. Greco Chelina can hardly believe it. That really was a good opportunity. And there was talk during the halftime break about Clint Bolton looking a little bit shaky in goals. Troy Cranney gets to the byline this time. The cross comes in. Farina! And Farina just couldn't get enough contact on the ball there. Really, for the first time in the match, Farina in a goal-scoring situation inside the penalty box.
And that clearly illustrates our point, Michael, about penetration on the flanks of the two Crannies. If they can get deep and wide, they can get the service in. Farina suddenly becomes a player in the game. But without it, it doesn't matter if your name's Farina or not, you're just not going to be able to do much against what is a pretty tight Sydney United defence led by that man there, Kupresak, having an outstanding match.
Well, we're now 13 minutes into the second half, and it's going to be the first change of the game. It's going to be made by Sydney United after the next break in play. Here they come, though, up this left side. Zdrilic making the yards, watched by Phillips. Phillips gets a touch in there, still Zdrilic. Lays it square, Markovac with the shot, and not too far away there from Robbie Markovac. So good work there by Zdrilic. on the left flank, laying it off for Markovac, and the shot dipped at the last moment. Good effort, this one from Markovac. Left by Bolton in the end as Branko Chelina gets the chance to make a change. It's Milicic, the player to go off. Sean Babic, the player to go on. A very lively customer, Sean Babic. Somewhat of a super sub for Sydney United. Has plenty of speed and a good eye for goal. He goes straight on to Alan Hunter, so that will be an interesting battle there.
And that change too, Michael, says a lot about Sydney United's thinking on this game. They have to win by more than one.
Here's Zdrilic now. Ante Moric onto his left foot. He shoots. Goal! Ante Moric! Well, Ante Moric gives Sydney United the cushion of a second goal. The crowd off their seats, and that may be the decisive moment in this elimination final series. Great shot there by Frank Farina and a splendid save by Perosh. Well, Farina wriggling away from Kupresak. That shot was going in. It was bending wickedly. So pressure here for Sydney United. Their coach, Branko Chelina, he knows the importance of keeping a clean sheet tonight. Here's Polak's corner. A good strong header there off the line, in fact, by Trajkovski. So that was Steve Jackson with a header from a corner by Polak. That was going in, but good defence there by Trajkovski. Now away by Zdrilic, who just slips at the crucial moment. Lofted back in there by Polak. A great header there by Alan Hunter, and what a superb save that was by Perosh. Well, the Sydney United goalkeeper, John Perosh, has earned his money tonight. 3 spectacular saves, this probably the best of them all. He had to leap high there, Perosh, to tip that one over the crossbar. It was going in, and try as they might, the Strikers just have not been able to penetrate this very capable Sydney United defence. All they can hope for now is a late goal. But it may come at the other end. Here's Trajkovski. He has Lamond in front of him. Still going forward is Zdrilic. Looking for Babic. A sliding tackle made by Williams. Now with Markovac. Enes. In there is Sean Babic, and it was desperate defence in the end by Gwynne and the goalkeeper, who put Babic off just as he was into his stride. We look at the replay here. Babic trying to hold off Gwynne, but there's no time for the visitors. Eugene Brazale ends the first leg of the elimination semi-final here at Adenzo Park. And Sydney United are the team with their noses in front. The final score here at Adenzo Park is Sydney United 2, the Brisbane Srrikers 0.
Yes, and for the record, that was United's 3rd win over Brisbane at home this season, and the Strikers have been scoreless on each occasion. And Johnny Warren, credit for that last night must go to John Perosh.
A lot of the credit. It was a terrific team effort, really finals football, tense stuff. Word too for Kupresak, who was outstanding, as was Zdrilic.
OK, but for Brisbane, some good signs.
A lot of good signs. I mean, it wasn't a 2-0 result in many respects, and the player that impressed me most last night for Brisbane was Alan Hunter, the experienced player who added so much as a defender coming forward. Every time he came forward, he had 2 excellent strikes on goal. This was one of them. Had the header later on. But just his general support and general play, the tackling and interceptions, joining the attack there, setting up an attacking move, was quite outstanding. And Big Al, been around for a while now, but probably having one of his best seasons in the National Soccer League.
And in a moment, we'll take a look at some of the computer statistics that we're running as a feature during the playoffs, and they indeed indicate that Brisbane very much were in the game. If we take a look at those stats now.
It was a unique game. It's one of the first times that I've seen Sydney United not have more ball possession than the opponent. And have a look at that. The shots on goal, Brisbane 13 against 7, 8 corners against 1, and the fouls and yellow cards, of course. But those stats do indicate that Brisbane, it was far from a 2-0 beating, if you like. They haven't scored often in Sydney or often against the top 6 opponents. I think it's only 3 goals. But that tie is really up for grabs next week. 2-0 may not be enough for Sydney United.
And that field possession, just for people, is indicating that for 64% of the time, Brisbane had the ball in their attacking half. So very much they were on the offensive for a lot of the game.
They were. Again, it's the first time I've seen Sydney United not in total control of the game, particularly